This is the thing that's trending. This is the thing that everyone's listening to.
Greetings, friends. It's Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is another episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast, which is a podcast for gamers who don't have time to game. And we're here again. Ryan, we're back.
We made it.
It's another exciting episode. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be here too. Thanks for listening and for being here. And so, Ryan, you're back again. Glad to have you.
I am
It's
back
just
again.
two of us again, unfortunately.
They're still mad at me.
They are. And they, maybe they have a right to be. I don't know. I'm mad at them, though, for not being here. Because, I don't know. Maybe I'll move them off of my MySpace friends. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Some payback. I don't know. They didn't do anything to me. I don't know why I'm getting payback. It was you that Matt kicked. Whatever. We're moving on. That's old news now. So, Ryan, what's going on? How have you been?
I've been good. How about you, Josh?
Hanging in there as best I can.
Yeah?
That's my go-to line, actually, is that I'm always hanging in there as best I can. I did, however, have to buy a new TV recently, Ryan.
Oh?
Yeah, I did not want to buy a new TV.
I did not know this.
Yeah, no, I had to buy a new TV. We were noticing that there is like this spot that was kind of like flashing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so bad that like the TV was dead.
Yeah.
But like it was something that was noticeable enough, and once you noticed it, it was just
You could not notice it?
Yeah. And so I was like, it's going to die soon. We're going to have to buy a new TV, right? And so I was like, fine, we'll go get a new TV. Found, same TV, our same size TV and everything like that. Got it set up. And I'm plugging in all my stuff back into the back of it, and there are no RCA inputs.
Oh, no.
So there's no, like, the red, white, yellow plugs, not in there
Just
anymore.
not there.
It's
No.
strictly HDMI.
Huh.
Strictly HDMI, which is a tragedy
Yeah.
for retro gamers everywhere.
That is not going to work.
No. So I can't hook up my GameCube anymore up there.
Unacceptable.
Without having an adapter. And that, I understand. I mean, I get it. But I don't like it.
Do they make such a thing as a RCA to
Yes.
HDMI adapter?
They do. They have those adapters. Those are things. I have one. And then you can also, here's the thing, you can have an RCA switcher.
Yeah.
And then have the output going into the adapter, and then you can have like everything switched
Oh,
out, and
right,
it's
right,
all
right.
going into one HDMI thing.
Yeah.
The problem is you're still limited on HDMI outputs or inputs. Golly, why do I keep screwing that up? It's because I'm an idiot. We're a professional podcast
This
here.
is a
I am a
professional
professional podcaster. No, so like the inputs, you've like 4 is like really the max, maybe 5. Maybe you can find a TV with 5, but like it's going to that's going to raise the price up quite a bit to get 5. But they've got they've got switchers for HDMI things too.
They do,
like,
yes.
But like then it just becomes like a thing where it's just like this is too much at some point, right?
I have one.
Yeah.
Our TV only has 3.
See, that's not enough.
And we have Xbox, Switch, computer,
Yeah.
something else, a sound bar. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We've got like 5 things and
Yeah.
and 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
the Roku or
the Roku. Yeah.
So we've got.
There are not enough outputs anymore. Inputs. Good gracious.
So
I need to, inputs or outputs.
being the selfish elitist that I am, the Xbox got its own HDMI, and then everything else got put on the switcher.
Yes. Well, no, like so like by the time you get like I've got my PlayStation 4, my
Yep.
Switch, my Wii U, and my Xbox. So by the time you get like that's 4. Like
Yeah.
I don't have there's no room for anything else. If I wanted a separate DVD player for some reason,
Yeah.
which maybe I should get one because that way my kids have something that they know how to operate, as opposed to having to get onto like the PlayStation or the Xbox to play a DVD or a Blu-ray. Like anyone does that anymore. Everyone just streams. Josh.
Stream it.
Why are you talking about DVDs and Blu-rays? No one wants those. Yeah, talk to me when your Netflix goes up to $50.
I've actually been here and there. I've been grabbing up more DVDs.
Yeah, you should. Everyone should.
They just keep moving stuff around.
Yeah,
It's on Paramount. Now it's on Netflix. Now it's on this. Like, all right, enough.
Yeah, no,
I'm just gonna own it.
It's all ridiculous. It should not be the case that you can't find the movie that you want.
Yeah.
You just buy it. Just buy the movie so that you've got it.
Now it's mine forever.
Yeah, until you've got DVD rot, which we've talked about before. That's a thing too.
That.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I don't know. I think there should be more inputs on television. See, I got it right that time.
There you go.
There should be more inputs on televisions. But because those switcher things too, they're so expensive. They're flipping expensive. At least for at least the ones I've seen. Maybe they've come down in price since I bought one. But because I have had this dream for a long time now. And I can't do it because I don't have a good place to do it. But I want to have a situation in which I could take any of my consoles, hit a button, turn it on, and I can just play it natively on my 64, or on my PlayStation, on my Atari, on my NES. Like, I just turn on the system, I turn on the TV, and everything just comes, and it's just there.
Yeah.
Like, I want that to be a thing. And I worked really hard when I was in high school. I worked really, really hard to have it set up on I had like an old TV. The only input that it had was a coaxial.
Yep.
That was it. And I worked so hard to have like my 6 or 7 different consoles that I had at the time all hooked up to that one TV with that one coaxial input. It was great. It was great. I could, and if I could just do that now, it'd be even better. But I can't. I mean, I could, but I don't have the space for it or the time or energy to put into that, because it's a lot. Like, that's a lot of engineering to make that happen. Yeah. It really is. But I had 2. I probably talked. I think I talked about this when I talked about setting up the Guitar Hero. When I was playing Guitar Hero again, but I had 2 VCRs that were fed one into the other.
Oh yeah.
And it was great. Like, I had to, so I could get another input in, and then I also had a switcher with RCAs on it. So yeah, I worked really hard on that, and I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I think that's a missing out on that. Is going to make it harder on retro gamers moving forward. So something to be aware of. That if you haven't bought some RCA to HDMI adapters, you might want to make investment.
Better get them.
You might want to make that investment. But I think you can get those at Walmart now for relatively cheaply. When I was first looking for them, they were not anywhere to be found.
Huh.
I was looking for them 5 or 6 years ago, like trying to find them because I wanted to get some of my old consoles. I think it was when we were trying to stream. When we were trying to do Let's Plays, when Matt and I were doing Let's Plays, I was trying to get it to work where I could hook up to the game capture card that I had.
Yeah.
I had to have an HDMI, so I had to have something that was. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So
yep.
They were not around when we were starting the channel. So yeah, fun times.
There you go.
Lots of memories there. So anyway. That's going to do it for that part of the episode, I think. And Ryan, what else have you got going on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
A
absolutely
whole lot of nothing.
Ryan's boring. That's okay. That's okay. We can go ahead and move into our review section of the episode here. So, Ryan, you've had quite a bit of time at this point to play some games, and you got a lot for Christmas. So
I did. You would think that I would come in here and tell you, oh, I have beaten 3 games.
I don't believe that at all, because you are a dead tired dad.
That's true.
That's difficult. And you also wrote a blog post recently.
I did.
About how it's important that for you that you finish a game, and that you're just going to let your backlog just build.
Grow. It's massive.
It's going to just be a massive backlog.
It is out of control.
Because finishing games is important to you right now. So you're working on finishing a game, maybe?
I am. I'm close.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of going to talk about 2 games in one, because
2 games in one.
I don't want to gyp our devoted listeners.
Okay.
So in that blog, I talked about how I was playing Persona 5.
Yes.
I am still
playing Persona 5. Okay.
This game is ridiculous, Josh. It's so ridiculous.
Ryan?
Yes?
Do you think maybe you should just move on?
No. I'm so close. Okay, let me get your opinion on this. Now, put aside that it's an RPG, because we know how you feel about that.
Right, yes.
Okay. HowLongToBeat.com says that this game is 130 hours long.
Oh my gosh!
I am at hour 96.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Surely I have to finish, right? I mean, 96 hours? I can't give up. I have to finish now.
You're 2/3 of the way through.
I know. It's absurd.
At 90 hours in?
It's absurd, Josh. It is absurd.
Now, granted, you all will remember that this is from the guy who spent 80 hours in 2 weeks on Tears of the Kingdom. So, I'm criticizing him for being 90 hours in.
It is nuts.
I still haven't beaten Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm over 100. I'm probably over 120. I've got to be over 120 hours into that at this point. I can't imagine I'm not.
But I just feel like I have to. I mean, I have come this far.
Okay.
I just got to finish.
Another week's worth of full-time gaming there.
So if I quit my job and quit all other responsibilities, I can be done with this game in a week.
Well, you wouldn't have to quit all other responsibilities. You just have to play the game for 8 hours a day for a week.
Oh, is that all?
You're still taking care of your family.
I'm so close.
Still taking care of... No other responsibilities. It's just like that's your full-time job for a week.
So even though
you can do it,
I say that I got to finish, I have not been playing it. I've been playing other stuff.
Yeah, no, obviously, because that's
what we do.
A massive game, despite your blog post.
So I have been faithfully working my way through this game here and there when I can. It's just ridiculous. It's okay. Have you ever experienced a game where you say that could have ended right there?
Yeah.
But they tacked on a bunch more stuff just to make it longer.
Oh, sure.
I've experienced that about 3 times with this game.
Yeah, okay.
That could have ended. We could have been done. We told the story. We're done with this, right? It's over.
So what do you do? So I hate to keep bringing up your blog post, but I'm going to do it. So what do you do in that? Because you were talking about in that post about how the story is what's important, and when you don't finish a game, you're leaving the story open and you're leaving it hanging. But when the story's been told and they're just dragging it on for the sake of dragging it on, which is something that I said, I have experienced that in a game, at least one. You tend to play more story-driven games than me, I think. So,
well, what I'm doing with this one is I've actually been speeding through. You can press the on the Switch the plus button,
right,
and it fast forwards the dialogue.
Right, skip the dialogue, yeah.
So, part of the problem is, and I'll just explain a little bit how the game works. So, in the game, you've got these. There's a calendar, and it'll just say June 1st, June 2nd, whatever. You've got these deadlines, and the game will very, very clearly tell you, up in the upper right corner, 15 days till the deadline, whatever. And all it means is you have to beat the boss by that deadline.
Okay.
Well, usually when the deadline pops up, you usually have around 21 to 22 days.
Okay.
It's not only is it possible, it's encouraged that you defeat the boss as soon as possible.
Okay.
So I routinely go in and beat the boss and then have 20 days until the deadline.
Okay.
That's fine in the beginning of the game because there's all these social interactions and friends you want to hang out with and events you want to go to. when you're at 100 hours, it's like, I have maxed out all my social interactions. I have beaten all the mini games. I have raised all my stats to the max. There's nothing else for me to do. So I'm just like,
You're just waiting around for the
like,
next boss.
so he just wakes up, and then like I just like wake up in my room, and then I tell him to go back to sleep, and then a day goes by. And I wake up, and it's
Oh
just,
my god,
yeah,
that sounds so tedious.
so yeah, it's just one of those things where I just want to get it over with. I want to be done.
Oh my god.
It's a great game, but it's too long. It is way
that
too long.
sounds way too tedious.
Yeah, it could have ended already.
Okay.
And it had a great ending too. It could have just boom done. But
So what do you think? What do you think the ending actually is?
at this point, I have no idea because the thing that happened that I was like, what? No way! Like major twist. If that wasn't the ending, I don't know. If there's still 30 more hours to go, I really don't know.
And like, now how long to beat? I feel like is like that's bare minimum, right? Like
They usually give like 3 different things. They give a completionist, which is I don't
Right.
even remember. It's like 180 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. No, they've.
They give a minimum, and then they give like an average where it's like
So is that the average or is that the minimum?
that's the average.
Okay,
The 130
so it's like
is the average.
some people have played have taken way longer.
Yeah.
So like you could be much further off.
Don't,
You could be
Josh,
much further off than
don't
you
go down
realize.
that rabbit trail. I'm in strong denial about averages and how math works. I'm not going there.
Oh man.
I could have 2 hours left, or I could have 50. I mean, I'm in total denial about how that works.
Now was this a game that you've had this game for forever? I feel like.
At least 2 years.
Okay,
yeah.
you've had this game for a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I've had it for at least 3 or 4 because I had it on PlayStation 4 first, and then Nintendo Switch. So
And you didn't beat it on the PS4.
no, I was
How far had you played through it on the PS4?
like 20 hours.
Okay, so that's not as bad as it could have been. Because you could have like spent 100 hours on the PS4 and
No,
then
I
gotten
never
it on
would have.
Switch.
No, I never would have gone back. That would have been the end. Yeah, it's just it's a good game, but it could have ended so many times.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, like not in my wheelhouse, not something I care about. I'm not gonna spend 100 hours on an RPG. I will spend 100 hours on Zelda, but that's about the only game I think that I'll
Yeah.
spend because, Anyway, I don't know. What is it that like made you go, oh, like after spending 20 hours on it on the PS4 and you knew you knew that it was going to
Knew
be
it was a long game.
and then so you bought it again. So how much? Then you've had it for like how long have you had it on the Switch?
At least 2 years.
2 years. So how much did you buy it for? Do you remember?
Oh well, so
Or
on
was it a gift?
PS4, someone gave it to me.
Okay.
So I didn't pay for it at all. On the Switch, it was a Christmas gift from my mom.
Okay.
So I've actually never paid for
Never
this game.
paid for
I
it.
have 2 copies of it. I've never paid for it.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, that's a win.
So that's a win.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get a game for free.
Yeah.
And I mean, so even though you haven't beaten it and you feel like you should have, you're still gonna play through it to the end,
Yeah.
like until you like get to the actual ending. It sounds like you've at least gotten money's worth.
I've
out of
definitely
it.
gotten even if I paid for it, I've gotten my money's worth.
And so like it's tedious right now. Are you still at least semi enjoying it, or is it like?
I am. I just wish I could speed through those like days until the deadline.
Gotcha.
Because again, for most of the game you can do other stuff. There's
Right,
mini
yeah.
games and stats that you can level up and social links
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you like
yeah.
go hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
So there's a purpose for those days.
Right.
But now I've gotten so I have Persona 5 Royal Edition.
Okay.
The Royal Edition adds on
Okay.
like 20 to 30 hours.
Oh.
So that's the chunk I'm in right now.
Okay. So you've actually beaten the game.
So anyone who bought the base game, the original release game,
Right.
it did end about where I was like, oh, it should end right here.
Okay.
Well, if you can raise all those stats and social links in that base game,
They didn't add anything extra for the.
I think they added 2, but you had to level them up to a certain point to unlock the extra content. So like
Okay.
they had to already have been done in the same amount of time as the base game.
Okay.
So there's nothing for me to do but to just
Okay.
wait.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just really boring.
Okay.
This part of the game is
Yeah.
really boring. The game
And
itself is not.
if I
boring.
remember correctly, I think we've talked about this before, but like this is not an appropriate game for children at all.
This one's not bad.
Okay, this one's not bad.
Persona 4 was iffy.
Okay.
Persona 3 was a definite no
Okay.
for kids. This one is not bad. My 10-year-old has watched me play a little bit, and
Okay.
there's been nothing. I have no problems with him watching me
Sure.
play it, but every
Sure.
parent's different. But
Right.
this one has not been
Gotcha.
yeah
Okay.
not been bad.
So not terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
No gore, no violence. I mean, some monsters that could be a little scary, but
Sure.
they're
sure.
cartoony, so
Right.
not bad. No, a little bit of language. No adult content. I mean, there shouldn't be because they're high school kids, so
Okay.
can't have adult content.
Yeah, you can't have adult content with them.
So yeah, I mean, this particular one is okay for
Okay.
kids to watch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, how many dead, tired yawns would you give that?
Oh gosh. What's our scale again?
I think I made this up on the fly last time when Matt asked me, and I said 5 out of 7 for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So it's out of 7.
Because no one else does out of 7.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
5 is probably about a good.
5 out of 7.
Yeah.
So as good as Josh's ranking of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
It's not. It's just not something that I can recommend if you have a busy schedule.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely
like,
not.
So,
Anything over 100 hours that
a major chunk of what I have played happened when I was traveling to Africa by myself.
Ooh.
So
Right.
I was, other than my work days, I was in my hotel room all night.
Sure.
I was on 12-hour plane flights, so it's a lot easier to get those hours
Right,
in.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
but
And the
if-
Switch is a great console to have that
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
So, if just your normal at-home regular schedule, it would not work.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. Well, so yeah. Persona 5. Long
There you go.
game.
There you
No,
go.
thank you. My name is Josh, and I have been playing a game on the Switch as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why I introduced myself again.
I thought there was a reason for it. I was waiting.
I'm psychotic, apparently. I'm a little tired. It's good. It was wild. Anyway, I've been playing on the Switch. I've been playing Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Okay.
And so this is a game that when they announced it last year, I think, I was really excited about it. It looked like a lot of fun, kind of a
Yep.
puzzle game. So I picked it up for free, basically, through a program that I'm a part of. I got it for free, which is nice, very cool. And came in. I still have a broken wrist, so games are still not easy, but
Yeah.
I can actually play them, unlike the previous episode. Where it had been like 2 weeks since I had been able to hold a controller. But no, I have been playing this game, and one of the cool things about this is about Mario versus Donkey Kong is that it has given me an opportunity to play with my son
Oh, that's fun.
because he wanted to play it, and so at first I was like, yeah, you can play, and I was actually able to watch him just play it.
Yeah.
Because my wrist was broken, and so I was watching him play it, and it was really cool to see because he's only 4, and so this
Yeah.
is and to watch his mind kind of work in problem solving and figuring things
Yep.
out, it was very, very cool to see.
Yeah.
And this goes back a couple episodes ago. We were talking about how Nintendo kind of does this thing where it gives people an opportunity to get into video games.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
provides that access that a lot of other game companies don't provide. in a way that is safe and controlled. Because it doesn't matter if you get a game over in Donkey Kong, in Mario versus Donkey Kong. It doesn't matter. Like, you get a game over and you have to restart the level. Like, but you've learned from your mistakes, and like you've learned how to progress through certain aspects of it in a way that it doesn't feel tedious. It doesn't feel like frustrating. Yeah. Which is really cool. Now, I think that this game, regular priced, I want to say is $50.
Okay.
Like I said, I got it for free, which I'm very grateful for.
Free is good.
Free is awesome. But I've, so like I said, I've been able to play it with my son and had a lot of fun with it. But I almost bought this game before I got it for free. I almost paid money for it because I was really excited about it. I'm really glad that I didn't.
Okay.
The game is great. It's a really, really fun game. Very cute. It's right up my alley. Platformer, puzzler, very fun, very creative levels. I haven't beaten it yet. Go figure. Because that's not what Josh does. I probably will. Like, it's not one of those games, but it's not story driven at all. So it's really just about figuring out the puzzles.
Is it 130 hours?
It is not 130 hours. God, I hope not anyway. I hope I'm relatively close to beating it. But like all Mario games, it has this thing where it's like, yeah, you could beat the game, but you can also go back and get all the stars and do the level perfectly without getting hurt or whatever. But it's a cool game. I don't think it's worth the amount of money that you would pay for it at normal price. Yeah. I mean, and I get it. Like, it's Nintendo, so it's going to be $50. It doesn't matter. But like, it's really like, it's probably like a $30 game. Like, if you could find it for $30, go for it. Yeah. Like, you're gonna get your gameplay out of it. You're gonna have fun with it. And it's great for kids. Like, it really is. And like I said, watching my, my son is newly 4. Like, he's not like 4.5. Like, he's 4. Like, just turned 4 recently, and he's able to play at least the beginning levels. Yep. Like, as the game has gone on, it was a little bit more challenging for him to play one player, but he's also playing with me a little bit. And again, watching him play has been fun. That the one thing that I have a problem with in that regard is how attached he tends to become with wanting to play it. But that's a parenting issue, not a video game issue. Yeah. You let him play for 10 minutes, and then it's an everyday thing where he's asking to play, and you tell him no, and then it's a giant meltdown, and it's just absolute chaos, and it's like, okay, well, we're just not going to play anymore. But,
well, the good news is, if you ever figure out the solution to that, you will be a trillionaire, as all parents everywhere will want to know.
Well, I think
what the answer is.
I mean, I really think the trick is just like, if you can't respond well when I tell you no, you're just not going to play.
It's like, all right, well, now I know.
You're just not responsible enough to play.
Yeah.
Sorry. And eventually he quit asking. But it was like, I hate that, like, because I think it is really good for problem solving and skill building and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's also really fun to play with him. Like, I enjoy like having that opportunity to play with him, but like he can't handle the no. And he had a toy it was a Lego Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
The Lego Luigi that he just couldn't, like, when we told him, like, hey, you can't take that with you.
Yeah.
It became this thing of just, like, massive meltdown. So it just, like...
I remember you telling me about that.
It just went up on a shelf and locked up for, like, a year.
Yeah.
And before I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. But if, I'm taking it back if this becomes a problem. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I think... overall, it's a great puzzler, a lot of fun to play. I enjoy it a lot. I'm hoping, I think I'm on like level 6. I imagine it's the same as most Mario games where there's 8 levels,
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't looked up anything on it because I'm just playing through it. And the challenges start off relatively easy enough that a 4-year-old can figure them out, and obviously progressively get harder.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, a 4-year-old couldn't figure them out.
Right.
But again, I think that that's one of the magical things about Nintendo games and about Mario games is the way that they introduce things and introduce the complexities of the game in a way that teach you like how to play it. So yeah, lots of fun, really cool.
There you go.
So, any questions you have, Ryan? Anything that you've got, on the game or anything at all?
I don't think so. I was gonna kind of ask because I remember seeing. I think we might have talked about it.
Yeah.
I had a news episode or something.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a trailer for it when it was first announced. I thought that looks pretty cool, and I was gonna ask about the kind of the puzzle aspects, but
they're good.
On that.
They're good puzzles. Lots of fun. So basically the idea is, Donkey Kong goes crazy because he wants these little toy Marios.
Yep.
And when they're getting produced and he goes to the factory and steals them all, and Mario's like, wait a second. And so Donkey Kong is trying to protect his Mario toys that he stole. I don't,
Yeah.
It's a silly concept. No real story behind it. It's just fun. But it's fun. It's a fun little puzzler to play. So I recommend it if you can find it used somewhere. Don't buy it new because the new price is probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But it's fun enough that, if you really wanted to.
I'm going to do what I do with most Nintendo games and say, hey, Josh, once you beat that, let me borrow it.
Well, you've got to finish your game first. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, it'll be done in a week. 8-hour days.
8-hour days, Ryan. You can do it. Just you've got some vacation time, right? Like, you could take some vacation and just...
I do have a vacation coming up.
There you go.
We're supposed to do things like hike and camp and, do
8 hours a day playing Persona 5. That's the ticket.
You go hiking without me, family. I'll be playing video games.
Well, let's see. So, I mean, you could work that out. Because, I mean, you do stuff with your family outside of your work hours.
What about hiking with the Switch in hand?
That sounds like a bad idea. But you never know until you try, right?
Yeah.
Gaming while hiking, the new craze.
Didn't some Pokemon Go players discover that was a bad idea?
Probably. I'm sure. I'm very sure that is the case. All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. We mentioned on the last episode, or on a couple episodes back, that we're gonna try to keep our review episodes a little bit shorter.
Yep.
So if you liked the episode, give it a like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. Share, especially share if you see our clips floating around on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere like that. Go ahead and share those too. Comment on those. We would love to hear more from you.
Yep.
And thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast.
Bye.